Hello, everyone. I'm here with Saffron Reeve. She transitioned from the modeling world into coaching women become better at their lifestyle through awareness practices. And I just wanted to share a little bit of the work she does. She specializes in the modeling niche. So maybe there's someone out there who is going through some of the same problems and can relate and just and transition as well and just live a better life, right? So, Saffron, would you tell me like a little bit of your process that you went through modeling? What would you say were your like biggest challenges, or why as well you decided to take this new route?
Yeah.
Mm.
So I started. Do I look at you?
Yeah.
It's normal. So I started modeling from a very young age.
Okay.
I was scouted when I was 12 years old. So of course at 12 years old, like you're still pretty much a child.
Yeah.
Your body is very much like a girl. You know, you have a straight figure. Like you don't have the curves. So your body is just, it's not properly developed yet.
Yeah.
And as you get older through those years, of course, like your body changes and you develop hips and boobs and everything. So for me, it was very difficult to have that big transition whilst modeling from the frame of a small girl to a woman, because obviously your body changes a lot.
Yeah.
So I struggled a lot with the standards of the industry.
Okay.
And also a lot of comparison, because they want you to be much smaller than you are naturally supposed to be, you know? So for some women, like, they have big hips and it's impossible to change that because it's your bone, you know?
Yeah.
So the modeling industry, they can be, I don't want to feel bad about them, but they can be very hard on women, especially as you're growing and your body's changing a lot. So for me, I experienced a lot of hate for my body as I was getting older, and it was changing because I was modeling from a very young age.
Okay.
And as I got older, my body was changing a lot. So I suffered with a lot of problems with my eating habits, like restricting calories a lot, also comparison.
Okay.
I would compare myself a lot to all the other girls in the castings and all of these things. So over time, I began to develop a lot of negative ways of eating and had a little bit of an eating disorder. Let's not put labels on it, but it was a very unhealthy way of eating. So I was just living this way for probably about 5 years, just being very unhappy with my body and very unhappy in the industry in general.
Okay.
Yes. Do you want to ask another
I think in general, the media puts a lot of pressure on, it's not just the modeling industry, but like all the magazines and all this stuff. And then I think some of it is not even like real, you know, it's also like it goes through Photoshop and then they post it and stuff like this. I know this, I have some model friends, and then they show me the pictures and then I see the magazine pictures. You're like, what?
Yeah.
So I think like this surrealistic, almost like reality, like fake reality, it makes women want to achieve this like physical aesthetics that are like pretty much unachievable unless you like do Photoshop on yourself in real life, right? So
definitely. And that's the biggest problem, is it doesn't look the same, you know? Like you look at a magazine and you see like this beautiful model and her body looks perfect, but in reality it's not authentic, you know? So obviously this causes a lot of comparison for women in general, and that is probably the biggest reason why women today struggle with all of these problems. And also social media as well, but it's also Photoshop. You have to be careful these days. Everything is deceiving. I think.
You know, it's very interesting. In the 70s, did you ever watch that movie Titanic?
Titanic, yeah, of course.
It's like the women who were considered more beautiful were the curvy women. That's why they put this woman there, you know. It's like, how did it change from that to these things, you know? And it's like just the standards that society puts. I bet there were some women who wanted to gain weight and gain curves, you know, and now it changed with the media and stuff, and now it's the trend is to be skinny, and now everybody wants to be skinny, right? But they don't like consider like being healthy, you know, like I think a lot of people just focus on losing weight and just being skinny instead of like,
Yeah.
if you're healthy, like you will look the way you're meant to look, you know. That's just my opinion. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, the industry has changed a lot over the years.
Yeah.
Because before it was as seen as sexy to be like curvy and to have big boobs and everything. And then over the years, it just went the whole other direction.
Yeah.
And now, like, skinny is sexy, and just being very skinny is seen as beautiful. But it's not realistic to look like this,
Yeah.
you know? So, like, my main goal is to help women to understand that their body, everyone's body is different.
Yeah.
And it's not going to look the same as any other woman you see, because everyone's body is different. Like, we all have different shapes and different sizes, and it's just about finding a way of eating and a way of loving your body in a way that, for how it is, you know, to not try to change it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no else to say to that.
What are like, for example, if you had like a rule of thumb, you know, that you always tell your clients, you know, what would be like the 3 advices that you can say in a nutshell to women and maybe struggling with an eating disorder, or just in general body image problems?
Well, firstly, I would say you need to understand simply that your body is the way it is, because that is the way that you're born, and you need to learn to love and accept that body for the way it is. Like, this is a body you've been given. It is going to be yours forever. You can either choose to accept it and love it, or you can choose to go out through your whole life not liking the way you look, which is going to cause a lot of other problems in all areas of your life.
Yeah.
Because it all comes down to self-acceptance at the end of the day. So just making peace with the way your body looks and understanding that, like, this is your body, like, it's beautiful the way that it is, and it's not going to get any better by disliking it.
Yeah.
You know? So it starts with acceptance. Acceptance is step 1. And then it's about also finding a way of eating that you feel satisfied, you know?
Yeah.
So just really understanding what kind of foods work for your body, what makes you feel good, what makes you feel bad, like experimenting a little bit and trying your best to not put any restrictions on yourself. So really just trying things out and seeing, like, because the main problem is when we're eating but we're not satisfied, you know, and then we feel very restricted. So just experimenting with a way of eating that you really enjoy, that you feel like you're getting what you need, but you're not overindulging, you're not underindulging, and just not having this diet mentality in general is a really good place to start. Just understanding that diet is really just a label that we put on things, and it's not necessary in general. And the last one, I would say, try to start implementing habits that make you appreciate your body for the way that it is. So for example, it could be things like gratitude for your body. So writing down maybe like a couple things every day of things that you really appreciate for your body. For example, it could be like, look yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm really grateful for, I don't know, like my legs, because they allow me to walk, they allow me to go through life, you know? So just really placing that gratitude on your body for how it is can really make a big difference over time.
Good.
Yeah,
I think, you know what, there's something interesting you said about the restrictions, you know, and I think that's like, there's this thing about when they tell you can't do something, it's like the more you want it, you know, and then it becomes like this psychological torture. And it's like, no, you can't eat this. And it's like, the more you want to eat that, you know, as soon as they tell you can't.
We always want what we can't have.
And it's like, it's like human nature in a way, no? But like, I think that may be like one of the roots of why the restrictions create sometimes more cravings. And then it creates like this whole psychological imbalance. And then it's almost like a vicious cycle now, that you want and then you crave and then you can't. And then once you like allow yourself to take a break, you overindulge it because you will be craving it for so long, and then you feel so bad, and then you like starve yourself again, and then it goes on and on and on and on, and then like people don't realize that they do this like on a daily basis for like a long time, you know. Some people do it until the moment that they're on their bed, you know, like I was reading something like a book a long time ago. Girl is with her mother about to die, and the mother, right before she dies, she tells her like, you know what, all my life I've been like worrying, I've been having all these feelings of unworthiness and all these things that I'm not good for, and then she just take a very deep breath and she said, well, like, not worth it, and then she dies, you know.
Wow.
And how sad it is that you have to realize that you are worthy, you know, and you are whatever you're worth, and you can become better if you want, but there's no point giving yourself a hard time, you know. Like you say, build the habits that make you a better person. And I would say that's like almost like a solution, or like a pill, if you want to call it, right? Like a psychological or spiritual pill to be better, right? It's like, okay, at least I'm doing something about it, no?
Yeah. Yeah, and mindfulness, this is why I use mindfulness in my practice, because it really makes you think about other things besides your physical body. It connects you to other things in the world that make you feel like your actual body is not that significant. Like the concept of your body, yes, but the appearance, it becomes less important. So over time, like when you're practicing like mindfulness and meditation, it really disconnects you from the actual appearance of the body. And it also just brings a deeper sense of peace for everything in life, but also like yourself. So over time with mindfulness and meditation, you begin to really accept things for how they are.
Yeah.
Everything, but also like your body and the way it looks, which is why it's so powerful and why it's a tool that I really encourage my clients to use, because that is the reason that I came to peace with my body was through these practices myself. So
what would you say is like a brief practice that you could share for somebody to start trying it already, like on a daily basis?
In meditation?
Yeah, like a meditation or like an awareness practice or like visualization, or which example can you give me of an exercise?
One that I love to use would be, it's more of a visualization than a meditation.
Okay.
But you're basically just sitting with your eyes closed and visualizing the person that you strive to be, or the person that you want to be.
Yeah.
So you're basically just thinking about who is that person that you want to be, and how do they look, how do they feel, how do they talk, how do they walk, like how do they act in general.
Yeah.
And through like visualizing this person that you want to be, over time your brain starts to kind of act that way, in a sense. So if maybe you're not that happy with the way you are now, there is always like room for changing and to
It's like that fake it until you make it.
Fake it till you make it, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's good. Well, thank you for sharing your story. And is there anything else that you would like to share about your story, your transition, your maybe like the peak point where you just said this is enough, and like where you took the road less traveled by Robert Frost?
God, there were so many points. Where, because for about 3 years, I was just telling myself, like, I don't want to do this industry anymore. Like, there was just this deeper sense of knowing that there was more for me in the world, because it is an amazing job and you get to travel the world and you get to meet new people every day.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just not enough for some people, and you have this deep knowing of there is more, there is more fulfillment to come.
Yeah.
So I think the turning point for me was just probably during the time when we couldn't go outside for like 6 months, and I really just sat with myself, and I wasn't doing any modeling at the time, and I was like, I don't really need this in my life, because I was happy I was the happiest during this time when I wasn't modeling, and I was like, wow, I'm actually better off without it. And then
Yeah.
I started to enroll in like nutrition courses, and I started to learn about other things. And it was because I had this time away from modeling that I started to explore other things, and that was it's just been ongoing from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. You took a very nice road. They say that you can't help someone else without helping yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like the highest way of knowledge is like teaching, or also like, it's very strange to say this, but like the best way to help yourself is by helping others. But it's very counterintuitive. How can I help myself when I help others? You know.
Yeah.
I guess it's not like a rule of thumb, right? It won't always work like a formula, but I think helping others like make you transcend through your career and your life. I don't know, whatever. Thank you, Saffron, for your time. Women, if somebody else is struggling out there with body image or just lifestyle in general, feel free to reach out to Saffron. I'll leave her link below. She's doing some coaching. She has a discovery call that you can reach out to, and there is no big commitment. You'll just find out if she's the right fit for you. And maybe we can help coaching people lead one step at a time, a better world, happier people. They say what you do seems like it doesn't matter, but it does. So we're here to help you. And thank you, Saffron.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ciao, ciao.
Wish you good luck.